Bueno, parece que sí. Hola, hola, hola. Hola, hola. Bien, muy bien. Bueno, parece que estamos transmitiendo. Good afternoon, buenas tardes. En caso de que no haya sido obvio ya, este stream pretende em, rendirle un pequeñísimo homenaje al que es probablemente mi juego favorito de todos los tiempos y probablemente el mejor juego de PlayStation 1 y punto, sin estar sujeto a discusión de ningún tipo, que es Vagrant Story, o como le decimos acá en Argentina, el Vagrant Story. Um, la gente que me conoce sabe que tengo una historia eh, que tiene prácticamente tantos años como este juego en lo que respecta a los videojuegos. Y una relación muy especial porque em, yo empecé a jugar, estoy viendo que está muy bajo el bitrate de esto, no sé qué onda, ya no sé tampoco cómo arreglarlo, todo esto de prueba. En fin, bueno, hace cosa de un mes atrás hice una retrospectiva por el 21 aniversario de God of War de PlayStation 2, indiscutiblemente uno de los tres mejores juegos de PlayStation 2 e indiscutiblemente en el top 10 de mejores juegos de todos los tiempos y punto, cosas que no se discuten porque hay evidencia de sobra. Y bueno, el Vagrant Story es un juego que particularmente a mí me definió un montón de perspectivas. Primero, no sabía, no tenía idea de que un juego se podía atrever a tanto en lo que respecta a la propuesta de la historia, la manera de presentar los personajes, los diseños mismos. Creo que de una forma u otra los fanáticos de Soul River y de la saga de Legacy of Kain deben pensar lo mismo. En el momento en el que estaba, 1996 para el caso de la gente, para los Legacy of Kain, no deben haber podido creer que una historia pudiese ser tan oscura y tan profunda y pudiese hacer tantas cosas, con una interfaz de juego que la mayoría sigue, eh, bueno, o sea, hay un montón de palurdos en el mundo que siguen negándole el estatus de forma artística a esto de los videojuegos. Y bueno, está claro que cosas como el Background Story son obras de arte. Y bueno, naturalmente no voy a poder hacer un stream completo del juego porque me llevaría unas 6 horas terminarlo. Aclaro que voy a empezar una partida ya, digamos, un new game más para no tener que renegar, para mostrar un poco en general la primera parte del juego hasta donde hace falta, digamos, manejarse con una guía, porque es uno de esos juegos, es parte de esa época. Arranquemos entonces, a ver si esto funciona bien, supuestamente. Vamos a ver qué tal sale. Espero que se esté escuchando esta miércoles. A ver si esto está saliendo. No, está negra la pantalla. A ver. Bueno, ahí tendría que andar teóricamente. Ah, no, soy un idiota. No, claro, ¿qué carajo va a capturar? Está capturando la ventana, pero no está capturando el juego. Qué bobo, ¿eh? Hay que crear un coso nuevo. Bueno, esto es incómodo. Una de las grandes ventajas de los emuladores de poder jugar como uno se le canta la gana, en las condiciones que uno se le canta la gana. A ver, vamos a crear una ventana nueva para esto. Esto sería Game Capture. Ah, capturar ventana específica. Vamos a ver, ahora tendría que andar. Veamos. ¿Ese soy yo? No. ¿Dónde está la ventana? Tendría que estar acá arriba de todo. ¿Te vas a ver o no te vas a ver? A ver. Oh, ahí está. Va a llevar un poquitito a ajustarlo justo. Tiene el aspecto 4:3 clásico. Hay una cosa interesante, digamos, en el juego. Vagrant Story es un juego que tiene muchas vueltas, muchas. Es un juego que está hecho para ser revisitado, para ser rejugado. Y eso arranca desde el vamos, antes de tocar Start para arrancar el juego. El juego tiene 3 presentaciones, 3 intros, de la época en la que los juegos todavía tenían intro. No sé si alguno de los que está viendo esto se acuerda de esa época. Hay otra cuestión importante que hace la diferencia. Estamos hablando de un juego, bueno, que hable por sí mismo. PlayStation 1, le recuerdo a todo el mundo. 6 horas han transcurrido desde la ocupación de la finca del duque a manos de un tal Sidney Tarot, fundador y líder de la secta Meulenkamp. Él y sus aliados han tomado de rehenes a la familia del duque y sus sirvientes. Están a cargo de la finca mientras hablamos. ¿Con qué propósito? La escoria hace 2 días liberar a sus camaradas prisioneros y que renuncie el cardenal Batisto. O sea, si uno agarra y toca Start cuando arranca el juego, no entiende nada. Pero esta es más o menos la idea. Esta es la versión de Yasumi Matsuno, el creador del juego, el director del juego, que fue también el director de Final Fantasy XII, que fue también el director de Tactic Ogre, que es el único desarrollador que no trabaja directamente, que no es empleado, por ejemplo, como Shigeru Miyamoto para Nintendo, único desarrollador de videojuegos que tiene 2 juegos en la lista de la revista Famitsu con puntuación perfecta, 40 sobre 40. 4 jueces le dieron 10 sobre 10. Esos 2 juegos son Vagrant Story y Final Fantasy XII. Así como para cobrar y guardarse el vuelto. En fin, no voy a traducir más, voy a dejar, digamos, que esto corra, pero, digamos, la idea es esa. Y que se note también el tipo de inglés que se usa, porque eso a mí me llamó muchísimo la atención. Yo soy bilingüe y traductor hace por lo menos 20 años. Y una de las cosas que me sorprendió de este juego que era inaccesible para el nivel de inglés que yo tenía en aquel entonces. Pero había algo que es cautivante, la forma en la que las palabras están elegidas, los títulos de las cosas. Ahí es cuando se ve que este juego tiene mucho más de lo que aparenta. Y ya en una intro que cualquiera que tocó estar 2 veces se perdió. Me acuerdo cuando vi esta vieja por primera vez, no podía creer que gráficos de Play 1 pudieran hacer esto. Aparentemente la libertad religiosa que hay en esta ciudad, en esta provincia medieval, está generando todos estos inconvenientes. Están saliendo profetas que anuncian el fin del mundo, distintas sectas, y detrás hay toda una gran conspiración política. Aparentemente la secta que tomó de rehenes a la gente del Duque, esa gente está complotada trabajando con el Duque, que opera desde las sombras y manipula todas las cuestiones políticas. Esto me pareció fantástico también. No sé, a ver, contame, ¿cuántos juegos conoces? ¿Cuántos juegos conoces que tengan, cómo es? ¿Dónde está la ventana de chat acá? Ahí está. ¿Cuántos juegos conocés que traten, digamos, de manera directa, eh, como temática de cultos, y de disputas, religiosas, que no sea, por ejemplo, un juego de combate por turno? Que bueno, Violent Story tiene muchísimo de eso. Con historia de Yasumi Matsuno, con diseño de personaje de Akihiko Yoshida. Son un par también que aquellos que han jugado Final Fantasy Tactics deben estar, deben estar relacionados, digamos, familiarizados en realidad. Nuestro personaje, un Arnold, un Rambo, un Solid Snake, esa era la idea de Yasumi Matsuno. Por eso no es el típico personaje de anime o de videojuego de esa época en la que nada es un guachito, como los Tales of Eternia, como todos los juegos que uno sabe, el Ark de Lad, el Suicoden y todos esos juegos. Lo cual también rompe con los moldes de lo que en ese momento eran las tendencias. Aparentemente hay una tercera facción involucrada. Ashley Riot es como nada, como Solid Snake, que es un agente secreto, o mejor dicho, un agente especialista en misiones de alto riesgo, y entonces le encargan esta cuestión de hacerse cargo de este conflicto. Y cuando se iban a infiltrar, de golpe y porrazo parece que han aparecido, apareció un quilombo y se está prendiendo fuego la mansión. Alguien prendió fuego la mansión y no se sabe quién. Y la mejor frase de todas: un momento, tenemos que esperar refuerzos. Y Ashley pregunta: ¿refuerzos? Yo soy los refuerzos. Imagínate hace 26 años atrás, ponele que este es el primer juego que jugás. Y eso es lo primero que dice el personaje que vas a manejar. Ya que hablamos de 26 años atrás, miremos esta presentación. Tratemos de detectar dónde envejeció. Para que esta presentación diga algo es necesario terminar el juego por lo menos una vez, sin spoiler. Eso es importante también. Ahora viene la segunda presentación. Esto a mí me sorprendió legítimamente, porque es como una especie de easter egg cuando uno se lo pone a pensar. Y que también hace la naturaleza circular del juego. Miremos la cruz atrás, miremos el texto circular que también sugiere una espiral, más grueso en el exterior, más fino en el interior, yendo hacia el centro de la cruz. Hay mucho, el símbolo de la espiral, que es un símbolo místico, está representado de muchas maneras en el juego. Creo que eso también es un detalle importante. De vuelta, juego de PlayStation 1, la puta madre, juego de PlayStation 1. ¿Qué están haciendo los juegos de Play 4, los juegos de Play 5 y el Ray Tracing y el 4K para ofrecer una experiencia como esta que salió hace 26 años atrás? ¿Por qué pasaron 26 años y nadie pudo igualar Vagrant Story? Por una cuestión muy sencilla. Hay que ser muy bueno para hacer esto. Esto es interesante porque nosotros vemos la acción narrada desde atrás y al mismo tiempo el autor se sirve del recurso de estar contando lo que ocurrió como si fuera en el futuro para nosotros, pero en tercera persona. como si fuese un reporte de lo que ocurrió. Esto también tiene sentido después de que uno termine el juego por lo menos una vez, pero esto es parte de la intro. Bueno, la música ¿cómo que se llama? Eh, ay, ya me va a salir. Es la trifecta de Yasumi Matsuno en la dirección del juego y el guión, Akihiko Yoshida en el diseño de personaje, y no me acuerdo el nombre ya va a aparecer acá. No me acuerdo el nombre del Hitoshi Sakimoto, que son colaboradores frecuentes con Yasumi Matsuno. Romeo Wildestar, uno de los personajes más chetos del mundo. Hay tres características fundamentales que hacen que este juego siga destacando hasta el día de hoy. El primero es la banda sonora. En segundo orden, los efectos de sonido, porque juegan un papel preponderante para la inmersión. Digamos, en la época de Play 1 uno no podía agarrar y mostrar gráficos increíblemente sofisticados. El concepto de la niebla Silent Hill sale precisamente porque no podía mostrar muchos polígonos. Esto es de hace 26 años atrás, repito. Es interesante, muy interesante la decisión también de contar la historia como si fuera un cómic, sin voces. Eso también hace la inmersión, porque no se nos pone en la cara el actor de doblaje popular de turno que tenemos que bancarnos para el juego que tenemos que jugar. Ni Nolan North, ni Tara Strong, ni Troy Baker, ni todo el ego que esa gente trae detrás, porque ojalá solamente se dedicaran a laburar y listo. Pero terminan influyendo en el juego. Esto es genial porque prescindimos de todo eso pretencioso de mierda y tenemos la historia de forma tal que podemos imaginarnos nosotros las voces de los personajes, si bien se nos dan un par de indicios, porque el juego tampoco es del todo mudo. Ya se escuchan los efectos de sonido que son protagonistas. Eso es importantísimo. Es interesante porque ocurren un montón de cosas en los acontecimientos que dan inicio al juego. Primero están invadiendo una mansión en la que nuestro protagonista se va a infiltrar para, bueno, asesorar la situación. Y de un momento para el otro aparece un dragón y eso también tiene repercusiones de índole política, irónicamente. Y esa es la segunda presentación. Vamos entonces vamos a arrancar el New Game Más, en el que ya no necesitamos armas. Esa también es otra. Este es uno de los primeros juegos que trajo New Game Más. Estoy abriendo una todo pucho. Es importante destacar también el tema de que todo lo que es el juego básicamente es pixelar del nivel más elevado posible. Esa es la manera en la que lograron mostrar escenarios tridimensionales. Todo eso es pixelar, todo eso es laburo hecho píxel por píxel. Cada piso, cada pared, cada columna. cada efecto de transparencia es impresionante. Las decisiones artísticas son importantes porque permitían sobreponerse la extrema limitación de memoria y recursos que tenía. En este juego entra en un CD. Y la primera partida, ciego, cuando uno no sabe lo que tiene que hacer y todavía no encontró una guía en internet, gracias a Dios por internet y por las guías, eh, tenés fácil, 20 horas, fácil. Aparentemente prendieron fuego para generar una distracción y hay un grupo de la iglesia que está comandado por Wildenstern, que es Romeo Wildenstern, el personaje este, que trabaja directamente para el cardenal del cual la secta Mühlenkamp pide que renuncie, digamos, solicita la renuncia, supuesta y directamente ligado a la libertad de credos y cosas que se descubren después. Hey Eddie, how is it going? We are showing a bit of Vagrant Story, considering it's its 26th anniversary. How are you going? In case you haven't played this one, then you have to play it. It's like your kind of game. It has everything it needs to have. Created by a diorama otaku, which is Yasumi Matsuno. Where are you, Sydney? La dirección artística de Hiroshi Minagawa es un elemento a destacar porque este juego tiene muestras una y otra vez en los encuadres, en los enfoques, en la paleta de colores, en el ritmo de la narrativa en movimiento, cinética, vamos a decir, como no lo tiene ninguna otra cosa, loco. Es lo que no hay hoy en día, dirección artística. Que todo se vea con colores realistas. Cierto que todos jugamos videojuegos para agarrar y ver las cosas de manera realista. Me olvido de ese ligero detalle que a nadie le importa. Can you hear me? Estoy tratando de hablar con un amigo que se conectó ahí en Twitch y me aparece la notificación. Been better honestly, but it's going. Perhaps you're having a lot of lag. Perhaps there's a lot of lag. All right then. Oh, then I guess I will switch my commentary to English. Being better honestly, what happened, man? We're seeing here the cult. This character Hardin is working with Sydney, which is the leader of the cult, the ones that have taken the servants and the family of the Duke hostage. They are the ones that order to kill the people, and well, to set the manor ablaze. I have heard a lot of any stories that came out before I had the capacity to. Well, I was sort of talking about that. It was a very complex and deep game, even for its time. Uh, uh, and one I recommend thoroughly, all the goddamn time. Just take a look at that art, man. And some people brag about and go on about this game needing a remake. This game does not need a remake. This game is perfect as is, even though about 30% of the game had to be cut, and it shows later on. Well, in successive playthroughs, rather, when you see that you are missing something to sort of understand the whole context or for the story to go full circle. Yeah, that is what I find strange. I'm seeing here that my bit rate apparently seems to be incredibly low. But I don't know. It will be like a a turn-based conversation. Hassan, man, no, we won't nowhere. Oh shit. No, yeah, not easy at all. I must suspect. Definitely not in the best of moods. God damn, man, that is a tough one. Oh, ah, since it's the beginning of the game, since it's the beginning of the game. Ya que al comienzo de recién empieza el juego no se puede entrar al menú. Esto es más memoria muscular que ninguna otra cosa. Eh, bueno, el juego arranca y tanto en la cinemática como en el inicio tengo el arma. Uno empieza con el arma con la que terminó el juego anterior. No solo el arma, el equipamiento completo. En la secuencia del juego, esto es básicamente el combate. Cada arma que uno maneja tiene un área de influencia, cada arma hay conjuro, y se hace daño específico. Dependiendo de la criatura, son los distintos miembros que están disponibles para golpear. Y después tenemos la información abajo que es fundamental para tratar de entender algo al principio del juego. El primero, dónde estamos pegando, ¿no es cierto? Brazo derecho, brazo izquierdo, cabeza, cuerpo y piernas. Después, la cantidad de energía que el golpe va a sacar aproximadamente y el porcentaje de éxito de cada golpe. Poder entender cómo funciona el daño y el porcentaje de éxito de acuerdo a las otras variables que el juego introduce inmediatamente es uno de los desafíos más grandes del juego. El desafío más grande primero es tratar de comprender cómo el juego funciona. Mientras tanto uno puede seguir avanzando. Y creo que eso hace a la intención de que la intención está lograda. Así que bueno, vamos a darle siempre a la cabeza. Some conversation. Yeah, just it was a stroke of luck actually because I wanted to start the streaming before to sort of take advantage of the day and perhaps optimistically try to finish on stream the game, which 6 to 8 hours is quite a stretch. But in any event, perhaps we should have an email talk so you are free to vent up a bit more. I'm sorry I left your email on unread, but I didn't have anything ready yet to show you, and I didn't want to appear to a conversation empty-handed for the nth time. Well, it's good. I'm glad to have cut with you, even though the circumstances are not the best. But everything is going to be all right. Everything is part of a plan. The hardest part of this kind of incidents is that, well, no one prepares you for that in the first instance, and second, sort of trying to this experience help us to learn to let go of certain outcomes and even desired outcomes. Just take things as they are in the most Buddhist of the of the ways, see it for what it is, and to try to, well, to move on. The only way is forward. I will be praying nevertheless. It's not easy. God damn, man. Tough. Okay, let's kill this poor guy. Otra cosa interesante del juego, PlayStation 1, los personajes que matamos ahí quedan en el mapa. Si yo los hubiera hecho ir para otro lado, los cadáveres hubiesen quedado en otro lado y el personaje desde donde estaba iba a caminar hacia la puerta. Eso es increíble porque es de base interactivo, no es una secuencia fija, vamos a decir. Y eso es importante porque es algo que los videojuegos pueden hacer y que muy pocos juegos modernos aprovechan hoy en día. La banda sonora es exquisita. So apparently, the cult has infiltrated the manor because they are looking for something. And apparently, they haven't found it. And in the chaos of the Cardinals faction appearing, which are called the Crimson Blades, in that ruckus, this destruction is sort of generated to try to avoid capture. Our character so far, no one within the frame knows or is aware of him yet. Es importante aclarar que este juego lo hicieron 40 personas. Lo empezaron 20 y lo terminaron 40 porque 20 personas trabajaron en el opening inicial. No, of course, certainly not. Sitting around being sad won't help anything. I mean, that much is clear. You doubt me, Harden? You doubt my power? Sidney Lostaroth is one of the greatest antagonists one could have in a video game. This is the first time the antagonist or one of the main players, let's say, is aware of our protagonist. Está también el enorme elemento que hay de bondaje y sadomasoquismo en este juego. Los diseños de personaje, el equipamiento que usan, la soga. Hay un montón de cosas ahí que eso es lo que me parece más fascinante del juego porque me di cuenta 26 años más tarde. Y después de haber jugado Dark Soul y después de haber explorado un montón la cuestión esa de ser sutil para contar una historia en un videojuego. Y esa es otra de las cosas que me vuela la cabeza de este juego. Una de las tantas maneras en las que utiliza la narrativa para contarle una historia al jugador. La historia se cuenta primero en tiempo real, cuando nosotros vamos viendo los eventos que ocurrieron, que ya ocurrieron en realidad. Eso es lo que nosotros jugamos. Después tenemos los reportes de lo que supuestamente ocurrió, que se mostraron al principio. Después está la información y la historia misma que cuenta las habilidades de nuestro personaje respecto del daño que es capaz de hacer, la información que tenemos de los enemigos. Cada uno de los combates cuenta una historia dependiendo del arma que uno tenga equipada, cuánta salud le quede, qué recursos tenga a su disposición. Eso es lo que hace a la acción. Nuestro personaje no vacila en hacerlo cagar. Well, that is the reason why I recommend you what I recommend you should play Vagrant Story. It's a game that the stupid alarm. Where is it? There. Um, it's a game that is constructed in such an is artisanal. I believe it's an artisan made. It's like an artisan craft of a video game. In one layer or the other, be it the plot of the game, be it the gameplay, be it the way that the artistic direction, everything is meant to sort of give you some inspirational fuel. Let's say it's as time goes on and motivation becomes weaker and it keeps getting weaker and weaker. It's things like this game that remind me the reason why I enjoy making art and well, trying to put that human aspect on it, because as time went by with all the distractions and entertainment and everything else that there's around us, there's plenty of things. One of those things that keeps drifting apart is our reason to precisely do some drawing, some illustrations. Um, that is one of the things that I've seen happening uh, to me, at the very least for a year now. Uh, it's been very hard to navigate. Let's say, yeah, 100 night crossbow. Yeah, Ashley is one tough. Ashley Riot is one tough motherfucker, and so is Sydney. Show a little more respect for fairy tales. You know the writing of this game and the localization is exquisite as the soundtrack. Vamos. Tomohiro Yashima, The Sound Engineer, el ingeniero de sonido. Genio total. Vení para acá. Ahora cuando once I start the game, I will switch to a different weapon because that one is too OP. It's a final one-handed sword. Hay muchísimo también en cuanto al diseño. Diseño de escenarios es muy reminiscente a Dark Souls. Uh, Hidetaka Miyazaki habló acerca de las referencias, las inspiraciones que tuvo para hacer el género Souls-like. Pero me parece que olvidó mencionar a Background Story. ¿Eh? Esto es Anor Londo. Esto es Anor Londo 10 años antes de que Anor Londo existiera. Eso es Background Story. Algo que estaba 26 años adelantado a un montón de cosas. En algunos casos, apenas 10 años. Otro elemento característico, este juego es único. No hay otro juego como este. No hay comparación. El que escribe estas palabras, AJ Durai, es el escriba de Final Fantasy Tactics. Forma parte del rompecabezas de ese gran mundo que Yasumi Matsuno había empezado a mostrar, que es el mundo de Ivalice, del que forman parte Final Fantasy Tactics, Vagrant Story y Final Fantasy XII. Es importante no tocar el botón acá porque si no uno se pierde toda esta parte que explica un pedazo de la historia. Si uno toca Start, arranca directamente a jugar. Y uno de los motivos para rejugar el juego, que creo que ahí es donde está lo magistral también, es que hay muchas cosas que parecen ocultas para el que juega las apuradas o para el que por ahí está compelido, y hay mucho de sutil ahí, hay mucho que termina teniendo sentido después. Entonces parece que son decisiones deliberadas estas, de esconder cosas a un botón de distancia. O información fundamental, como Dark Souls también. Dark Souls la primera vez, si uno lo juega ciego, es una de las peores experiencias que uno puede tener en la vida. Pero cuando uno más o menos sabe lo que está haciendo, hacia dónde tiene que ir y cómo funcionan las reglas del mundo, ya ahí cambia un montón la cosa. Really ambitious graphics for a PS1, definitely, man. It's incredible. Also realistic proportions, full polygonal rendering. And also the well, in it's not so obvious now, but you can see the mastery at the let's call it the isometric vision that the whole staff has, because they managed to pack so much detail into selected rooms, and yet they manage to make it seamless somewhat, although there's plenty of loading times. That is the worst problem with this game that luckily a couple of options in the emulators speed up the reading of the memory card. So it's there has never been a better moment to play Vagrant Story than now, 26 years later. Yeah, a wyvern. That was just a wyvern. You will see a dragon in a couple of moments. The Cardinals men, the Crimson Blades, are in pursuit of the cult leader, Sydney, which is the one that supposedly we murdered, the one that summoned the wyvern. This is the affected, the Duke Bardobras, the owner of the manor that the Millennium cult that Sydney took with their men, and he is ordering for everyone to kill all the survivors and set fire to the manor to sort of hide any witnesses of magic, because where there's wyverns and dragons, there's magic, and in such a religiously contentious world as this one is, that is something that might arise suspicions. There's a lot of politics entwined with dark fantasy in this game, which is made in such a masterful way. I think every human being should experience this. We can also see this Duke, the most affected is it's a cold son of a bitch. He's he's ordering to burn the manor with all the hostages and survivors, which is the same that the cult was already doing, and not so subtle not there that there might be a connection. It's this game is incredible. The VKP is the unit that our protagonist is a part of, the Valendia Knights of the Peace. They took a little kid hostage. It turns out it's the Duke's youngest son. I like the fact that the Duke resembles Churchill. As cool as Final Fantasy VII was, I lament how many games never got to shine because of it. Yes, you got Vagrant Story, you got Legend of Dragoon, you got the Chrono Cross even, which it was a 10 out of 10 game, and a very deep one at that. It was like it was definitely the golden era for RPGs. When you think about it, in PlayStation 1, you had Final Fantasy 1 through 6, with a very little remasters here and there, right? You also had Chrono Cross, Parasite Eve. Squaresoft was like a creative and technological powerhouse. It was an incredible time. I was so glad. I was so glad to be in my teens, or my early adulthood, back at that time, because it was incredible. We are talking 4 years before ADCL internet connection became ubiquitous. Feels like prehistoria. Oh, those illustrations, that music. My God, this game. I love this game so much. I never knew I could love a game this much. And there's no love without obsession. This game gets you incredibly obsessed. Leamond is the city that we are to infiltrate, where Sydney and the cult remnants escaped. That is the place where we are going to go as well. And this is sort of a description of the place. We don't need to even see images to start imagining in our minds with our mind's eye. That is another great thing that games of yore did, because they didn't need high quality graphics in order for the story of they wanted to tell to live within you and to interact with you as a player and as a spectator and as a character too. Is just genius, period. And fan service. Undoubtedly, Callum Merlows has the best ass of the PS1 era. All of that is pixel art. All of that. It's incredible. It's incredible. It doesn't get more diorama than that. Diorama, rather. The problem with Final Fantasy VII too was not the game itself, but rather their fans. Bueno, nos vamos a infiltrar utilizando no me acuerdo cómo se llama, una bodega, una vinería. Leamont, que es la ciudad donde estamos yendo en busca de Sydney, el líder del culto. Eh, esta ciudad es conocida por su vinería, es medio una referencia, o sea, en espíritu Leamont es un pedazo de Francia. El pedazo menos repugnante, vamos a decir. En la versión completa, en la versión perfecta, en la versión que nunca vamos a ver de este juego, había segmentos en los cuales se podía jugar y Calo iba a acompañar a Ashley en algunas partes, pero era demasiado, no entraba dentro del juego ni... ¿Qué pasó? What happened? First time. Hello, Ryan. How's it going? Also pleasantly surprised to know this game is in the same universe as Tactics. Yes, yes, it is. It's part of the world of Ivalice. Are you familiar with the works of Yasumi Matsuno? Thanks for the donation, by the way. I think. No, I'm talking to the AI. Oh my God, how embarrassing. I better I better do some human stuff like playing games. There's a video. Perhaps I should share. I don't. I should check on. Well, I will advance the game a bit, and then I will share a URL for a guy that made a whole Final Fantasy retrospective, like 18 videos through the course of 6 years or something like that. And although it has many problems with its script, let's say, you can tell he's a very passionate guy. And those videos, those retrospective videos, really got to me. And the one that touches the world of Ivalice, which covers Vagrant Story and Final Fantasy Tactics and all the Final Fantasy Tactics, because I know there's lots of versions of them, also covers Final Fantasy 12 and sort of tells a bit more of the story. Watching that video gave me sort of the idea to revisit this game, and perhaps that was a mistake because it's too good. It's too fine polygons with delay. En esta parte de acá nos enteramos de que, o se nos hace evidente o visible, se nos comunica que el duque y Sidney, el culto este que tomó de rehén a la familia, están trabajando juntos y aparentemente es una maniobra política. Y el juego no empezó todavía. There are many would-be prophets in the land these days, but Sydney is different. That too is pixel art. Eso también es pixel art. Esa lámpara, ese fuego, es pixel art. Es increíble. Es increíble la cantidad de laburo que hizo esta gente. Yes. And suddenly, sin que el juego arranque todavía, tenemos este encuentro. Chan. Oh, where's my lighter? God damn it. Oh, there it is. Okay, 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 okay. Let's go. Now for realsies. Now the game begins. The wine is constantly mentioned, and it also adds an additional layer of immersion because you can sort of smell the places where you are according to the descriptions that you read. Pretty much what happens is pretty similar things that Dark Souls does. Think mean, but spelled with an R for a name. Rian. I am more familiar with tactics to a degree because I like the Lita. Oh, such a great character. Both Ramsa and Delita are great characters. That is a thing that Yasumi Matsuno seems to do so easily. He sort of has this ability to create these incredibly cool characters with such a grounded and meaty backstory. Uh, Final Fantasy IX is, you mention it and it brings tears to my eyes. It's my favorite. Is my favorite Final Fantasy of the PSX era. I've replayed last year. I think I replayed Final Fantasy VIII, which happened to be my first Final Fantasy. I replayed it like 4 times, and I love it for particular reasons. But Final Fantasy IX is the perfect Final Fantasy. It's sort of uh, a real fairy tale the video game, I would call it. It has such a warmth, and the way that the game was created already to invoke a nostalgia, but not the Kickstarter kind of nostalgia, the artificial one, but one that was very carefully crafted. I love Final Fantasy IX. The Choco story is something that makes me cry. It's something incredible. Up to this point, I'm remembering it, and I am sort of I'm tearing. I love Final Fantasy IX. I love it, but I love Vagrant story much more. Okay, here we started the game. A particular thing is that Vagrant Story uses all the buttons on the pad, and it's so complex that it has sort of a quick access here, a quick menu that you can get to with the left trigger, where you can see the kind of the spheres of magic that you have according to the spells that you have unlocked on Shaman, Warlock, which are offensive spells, Encanter, which are elemental spells, not for elemental protection and offense, rather, and Sorcerer, which is a bit of everything to power up, to raise intelligence, to make spells, and all of that. Okay, with the select button, we sort of switch sides. We use L1 and R1 to rotate 45 degrees. There's also with the right stick, if one presses the right stick, we switch to a first person view in order to assess the place where we are and also to appreciate the incredible amount of work that is going with this game. Again, PlayStation 1. You can either move with the stick or with the cross or with the crosspad, with the joypad rather. Okay, we have with circle we enter battle mode. I will switch weapons because this is OP. Okay. The menu. With triangle, we enter the menu. We add all of these options here. Each one very complex in itself. But we'll go to items. In items, we get first here to equip weapons and gear, and the setup, which is the meatiest part of the game, where you can attach gems to your offensive and defensive equipment, to swords and shields. You can disassemble weapons into a main part and a shaft. And then once you hit the blacksmiths, you are able to sort of craft your equipment. Not only craft it, but also rename it. Which is also something that I find in very good taste. Okay, so we have the weapons. These are the weapons where I finished the last playthrough. We get an axe. Let's see. The spiral is my sword from the Rompaya family, made of Damascus, which is the highest element. It's maxed, as you can see. This must have taken like, I don't know, 3 hours to do the whole process to get this weapon to max. Okay, we have an axe. This is the one which I kill dragons and beasts with. Then we got the wakizashi for humans, the BT fire for magic. Yeah, and that's a lot. Since we have undead people here, so we also have a silver dagger. Funny fact: the two characters in my PFP are played by Delita and Alma Sale. I can't here in OBS. I can't see your PFP. Well, that's a funny fact, indeed. Okay, here we go. I think we're good to go. Okay. I was in the menu. Okay, we have the equip there. These are the weapons that I have. These are the blades of each weapon. When you disassemble them, you will get this kind of weapon in particular, which is useful because you can combine it then to get new weapons or higher tier of specific weapons. Here are the shafts, uh, the grips rather, that you have for axes and swords and the lot. There's any specific. This is important to understand because they convey the kind of damage that the weapon does. Oftentimes when you start playing this game, you don't understand why you hit enemies for 0 damage or 2 points of damage, and this has a lot to do. Of course, it's explained somewhere, but trying to figure it out on your own is quite complicated. This is a game that it's pretty hard to figure it out on your own. That is also why it's so appealing. Okay, so we have the menu, like we said, the shields, and each part of the armor that we will be getting from loot, which we can also combine into newer pieces in order for it to get the best weaponry we can. Here we got the gems. Gems can be attached to weapons or shields and provide different boosts and penalizations and abilities uh, depending on how you combine it, either defensively or offensively. So, for example, we have the Demonia, which increases power against evil enemies. That is, if you attach it to a weapon. If you put it on your shield, you will have the same amount of bonus against evil enemies, but on your defense. So evil enemies will take you far less damage. That is important to understand as well, and it's not as obvious as it seems on a first playthrough. Plenty of people give up on this game because it's really hard to figure it out. But it's not difficult to play. Well, this is the place where we can save our game by going through data. The whole intro took like 49 minutes. Then we can save or load the game. Another thing that this game has, it occupies 3 memory card slots, which was very restricted back then. Those are plenty of things that went against its mainstream appeal, let's say. Okay, we got some items. I think I will go bare-handed. That is another thing. When I discovered this, it blew my mind. The fact that if you choose twice the weapon you are equipped with, you go bare-handed, which is amazing. And on successive playthroughs, the only way to land several hits on the enemies without them dying in one shot is to punch them to death. I be lurking. Okay, man. I basically like how the elite is a genuine anti-hero who, despite being right to despite the nobility, but well, that is the thing. It's a true anti-hero, a very believable one. I think that is what makes that particular world of tactics. Nothing it's as plain as good and bad. There's plenty of nuance. I love that. Vagrant also has that in spades. These soldiers are men of the cardinal. A grimoire. Okay, the door is locked with a sigil, which are like consumable keys, let's say. And apparently, the cardinal's men don't know it themselves, as we can see, but the purpose of the church is to enter the city and to take their, let's say, heretic knowledge, or rather their magics, their grimoires. That is the thing, apparently, the people of the church is looking. But the Crimson Blades themselves, let's say the rants that we fight, the pawns on this chessboard don't know it, and these people seem to be some pragmatical, some people of faith, like we see in this conversation. And here is what it says: procure the miracles of Leamont. Well, if you like, the relationship between Delita and Ramsa reminds me sort of the main character and Joey Atreides from Suikoden 2. I don't know if you play Suikoden 2. That is another game that has a nuanced take on the whole war affair. Here we go. Ah, we got a combo system. There we go. Okay, we have three gauges. We have our health in green, we have our magic in pink, and we have the risk zero there. Each hit that we make us give us risk. The more risk we have, the less accurate our attacks are, and the more damage we will sustain. It's a balancing act all the way through. Yeah, we beat bats to death and wolves too. Loot. And here the mind games start. Boxes are your friends in this game. I think modern anti-heroes suffer from they are either just good guys with attitudes or absolute monsters. You know what the problem is? Modern writers. Modern characters suck because modern writers suck. Because the references they used are all the same. They all feed from the same pool of, let's say, inspiration, and therefore you have formulaic and already seen, already heard tales, and most of anti-heroes or antagonists look the same. That is what makes Eastern fiction so appealing because usually their characters are more nuanced that they first appear. If you take things like a long-running series, especially like Berserk, like Hajime no Ippo, uh, like Naruto, of course, One Piece, you get sort of a there's plenty to see there in different shades and different colors, and it was particularly groundbreaking. I remember tactics for that. I never could get into the game, but I was enthralled with the story because I hated the fact that your characters died and you had to train one all over again. I mean, that is the reason why I never could get into tactical sort of war games. But I love the stories. Okay, let's see if we can use. Ah, I got an axe, didn't I? We got 8 different kinds of weapons, of categories of weapons. Let's see. Let's use this. Let's use this axe, which hopefully will make a bit less of damage to the enemies. Well, not so much. Oh, ah, there it was. I knew there was a chest. I always forget where it is. Delete and run size C as better written version of Yuri Lower influence. Those names ring a bell. Yuri Lower and Flint Sifo. Ah, we also got a crossbow. No, no, no. Wrong way. We were supposed to go there. Yeah. Remember what I told you before? Boxes are your friend in this game. Even though they seem infuriating at certain moments. We were on the weapon subject. What happens to the weapons in this game? Each weapon has a class, an affinity, and a type, right? So the class is defined by the amount of enemies you fight. The more of a particular kind you fight, the more bonus you get for that particular class. Same for affinity. Your weapon will end up doing the damage which element covers the most. And when you get a particular plus in one of the categories of affinity, you get some minus in some others, which makes again a balancing act, and it's an incentive to try out different kinds of weapons, or rather, if you like a particular, or feel you are good with a particular weapon, you can do specific types of those. For example, an elemental sword, an elemental fire sword, an elemental piercing sword, an elemental edged sword, because that's the third part, the type. Each weapon has a type of damage, which is determined by its grip. In this case, uh, with this grip, the axe I'm using can do 1 point. One X has 1 point in edged, and the predominant damage, which is determined by the weapon per se, it's edged. If it was blunt, we could take advantage of that grip in particular, but we can't with this particular weapon until we hit a blacksmith place. So let's see, this one has 10 points in piercing. Of course, certain enemies are particularly weak to a specific kind of damage, be it blunt, edge, or piercing. And perhaps your best weapon is either edge or piercing, and the enemy happens to be only weak to blunt, which makes things very uncomfortable. but it's sort of the message of the game. Never get too familiar with something. It's sort of a try to go on the run and to take advantage of the things you see rather to try to accommodate the world around you. If you try to accommodate the world around you in this game, it will take you hours and you will love it. But it's sort of a kind of the message. It goes with the message of the game and things that become more apparent on subsequent playthroughs. Let's go with the axe. With my axe. Yeah. Ah, the door is closed. Yeah, man, that is it. After 2016, I play no more. I lost sight of the video games industry in general because I see uh, nothing worth the time investment or the engagement. When you think about it, things like that well actually well written, like of course there's the exception even now and then, like this Baldur's Gate and whatnot. But when you see the modern, I don't know, everyone wants to be Joss Whedon. I don't understand it. Mass Effect is from 2007, and that was from a time when games were well written. Uh, Arguably, Mass Effect 2 as well, 2010. Here is where the mindfuck begins. Each enemy we kill counts as an experience point for something that we are about to unlock in a moment after this fight. Boxes are your friends. Something I should stress before puzzles begin. The first thing you need to do that is not configured by default is to go to options, puzzle mode, and put it on off. Otherwise, the puzzles reset, and when you re-enter the room with the puzzle, you have to solve it, and you get a timer for that to see how much it takes to solve it, and it goes very against the exploratory nature of the game per se. So do yourself a favor and turn it off. Try to solve the puzzles on your own whenever you can, and that will be your lot. Don't worry, you will be replaying a lot, so you will have plenty of opportunities to replay that particular puzzle. But for the time being, I will suggest being a mega fan of this game, turn off that. Otherwise, it will turn you even more off. Sometimes this game looks like it's trying to repel you, and that only makes it the more appealing, just like Dark Souls. Oh, look who's up here. Hello, man. How's it going? Oh, the trio. Yo, I jump on here by chance and find you playing my story. Hey, it's 26th anniversary, man. Someone had to do it, right? How are you guys doing? I was just sort of explaining the know-hows. Initially started doing it in Spanish, but the English speaking audience won by an appalling majority. So, No, but this was just I was making a tryout. I couldn't not even tell you, hey guys, I'm gonna stream for the 26th anniversary because I wasn't even sure if it was gonna stream properly. My bitrate is very low, and still I don't know why. But well, in any case, how are you doing, guys? So long. I love the box puzzle. Remember, the boxes are your friend in Byron Story. Yuri Lowell and Flint Sci-Fi from a Tales of series. I knew that name. Kind of based on that whole wanting to reform. W- That is another kind of AAA game. I seen a bit of Tales of Destiny, and it caught my attention that it's fully voiced, besides being in pixel art. Oh, the Minotaur. We're gonna fight him. We're gonna fight him barehanded. Oh damn. Oh yeah. Goodbye, Minotaur. It's your lemon, boys. And if you don't abide by these weapon affinities, absolutely you will do. Well, yeah, that is the figuring out part of this figuring out the game. How frustrating! Oh, HP. Okay, where was the box? There's the box. Yeah, yeah. If I was to start from scratch, it was gonna be a very frustrating experience for everyone. So I booted up the second play. This is the second playthrough. I'm technically on new game plus 4 at this moment. Trying to go for that Damascus armor. No, no, of course. By barehanded right now is the only way I can combo enemies. Otherwise, they get one shotted. The script for this game is superb. And this is interesting as well. Is Sidney speaking to Ashley or is he speaking to the player? You also get a bit of Spec Ops The Line there. This game has so many subtle things that yearn to be explored. Where is your soul, Riskbreaker? How are you guys doing? It's summer in there. It's getting warmer. Here it's getting colder. Besides, I haven't filled you out in this, but I lost around 30 kilos, which will be like 60 pounds in 5 months. If I had 10 years less, I would be a twink by now. Sorry for no, it doesn't matter, man. In a way, it's generating a conversation. These guys here, Ultraman and FK, and also Deadman, which was before, they are all my best friends. They are all my buddies. They are always here in one form or the other, and they do know a lot about their RPGs. So you can have a great conversation amongst yourselves as well. I remember this scene to be particularly disturbing because all the game is dark and pretty grim, and suddenly that blue strikes you as creepy. Even it's certainly surprising. Wow. This is the first instance where we find out a bit more about the background of our characters because so far we knew nothing. So we have an additional reason to move forward with the story, especially when the game gets more frustrating because it almost seems on purpose that it's sort of holding you the whole story and what happens behind things that sometimes are very hard to figure out. Some puzzles are deal breakers. If you don't have a guide and you need your notebook as well, you will take thousands of notes about how to combine X to get Y and to try to track on the oblique progress of the equipment and weapons and affinity, and oh my god, it's a marvelous mess, a beautiful mess. Which option you mean? The turning off the puzzles? I tell you, man, this game has so many things hidden. You sort of see to play it now, and you will discover things that you can't believe. First, that they are part of a PlayStation One game, and second, that you weren't able to get your head around of back when you first played it. This game is incredible. The soundtrack is incredible. The script is incredible. The character design is incredible. The subtext, the subtle storytelling is incredible. The only word that every aspect of this game conflicts in my mind is exquisite. This game is not only unique but exquisite. Perhaps the same could be said for certain wines. I don't know. I'm not a wine connoisseur. I don't like wine, but it sort of goes very along with the whole flavor of the game. Uh, those kind of things are the ones that I find fascinating about video games, not their graphics or their performance or their whatever it is, or the whatever trend they are chasing or whatever multiplayer capabilities. Who cares about that? Video games can be much more than that. They have to be more than that. We have already plenty of first-person shooters. We have plenty of MMOs. We have plenty of multiplayer games. We need more games like Vagrant Story. We don't need more Call of Duties. God damn it! Try to catch me, Ashley Riot. We love the boxes. That is a good T-shirt. Been doing good, man. Life goes on. Good to hear, man. Dad was having a tough one. He told me. I believe he must be lurking there. He said he was gonna be lurking, so I'm sure he must be around. Oh, Calo. Oh, Calo. Fantastic. This is my game. I had no idea what I was doing back as a teenager, so I got really hard stuck in the game. Yeah, I think we all did. I think we all did. I still don't understand how I managed to finish it back then. I tried to figure out the goddamn snowflake forest. My God, my God. You mentioned One Piece earlier. I'm fond of it. I tend to like the electricity and the fact their fightings and everything. Well, it's part of what makes Eiichiro Oda such an accomplished storyteller. It seems like this ease, or let's say facility, to come up with very interesting characters that create ruckus around them, by rule, are sort of surrounded of very interesting antagonists, right? To me, that is what makes Eastern entertainment more appealing to me than the Western one. If every Western game was like Fallout New Vegas, I would think it otherwise, but that's not the case. Alexander O. Smith, the same localizer for Final Fantasy VIII, which is not a great job. Let's say that was his debut. In fact, his first translation for Squaresoft was Final Fantasy VIII, which happens to be the most replayed one by me. Um, and also Final Fantasy 12, which is also as exquisite as Vagrant Story in in their in their localization is superb, superb. Yeah, they had to do Game Sharks because Squaresoft couldn't provide them with the transcripts, so they had to use a Game Shark to get access to the scripts and in order to be able to make the translation proper. I tell you, man, it was caveman work back then. An absolute labor of love to wood. It's impossible to have a good game nowadays because people want. I'm not saying this to be a good thing, but it's sort of a prerequisite to have people willing to sleep below their desks in order to get the game done. Not going through the thing as okay, here comes I'm here for a paycheck. That kind of mentality will never give you a background story. It's as simple as that. If we are demanding the athletes to have some kind of supernatural or heightened sense of strength or stamina or durability or whatever it is, I think we are entitled to demand the same for the people that develop games. These guys were all heavyweights. Akihiko Yoshida in the character design, Yasumi Matsuno in the whole conception of the game and his sort of diorama vision, which makes Final Fantasy Tactics, well, the World of Evil is so distinct. I can't remember the name again. Of the guy that does the soundtrack. All heavyweights, top of their game, way back then. Yasunari Mitsuda. Yasunari Mitsuda? No. Yes, Yasunari Mitsuda is the guy that does the soundtrack. And here we get the best feature of the games, the break cards. Ashley has recovered battle abilities from his suppressed memory. Battle abilities and break cards. Yes. Oh, yes. it also managed to tell a story through the names of of each ability. It's incredible. Oh my god, this game! Oh my god, this game is chocolate. Let's go! Speaking of, I'm about 10 hours into Breath of Fire 3. Oh, Breath of Fire 3. I was Breath of Fire 4 is available on Google Games. They sort of put a remastered version of sorts, but it's a GOG remaster, let's say, not a Capcom one. Uh, I never went too deep into Breath of Fire 3. I had my best friend back then. I don't know how many times he replayed it. I managed to finish 4, and I think it was last year. Managed to get to the end of Breath of Fire 4 and left it at that. Great games too. Very unique in their own way, and with a fixation for fishing. Let's see if I can manage to make the 30 hit. I don't think so, but I need that title. Ah, ah, I hate you. Ah, I only could get up to 20, but you need 30 for the title. Ah, no, I won't be able to make it. Well, see, you could stay all life here trying to nail the longest combo you can, and you will forget about the story. This game has this capability of capturing you, enrapturing you, making you hostage of particular rooms, which also goes hand in hand with the whole BDSM subtext that the game has, which becomes even more and more apparent with successive playthroughs. I mean, this is torture. This leaves scars, and that is very real. I think it's no coincidence that the whole graphic aspect of the game revolves around BDSM. Uh, I find that very interesting, in fact. Even more considering that the secret dungeon, every room has the name of a medieval torture device. It's like Yasumi Matsuno's director and Yoshida Onar, which was the exact same killer creator that Final Fantasy 12, and also a masterpiece, of course. And also the fact that they knew each other for a pretty long time. Pretty long time when you think about it. Please give me a go ahead if you're able to see the stream. I will continue. Look at this effect. I haven't applied any filters. It's going as it was originally. Well, 3 times the resolution only, but I haven't put any effects. This is just what they did with pixel art. It's incredible. The way of the fist. Give me the go ahead if you're able to see this stream. I hopefully so. Cansaron. I always wanted to try this. Let's see, Surging Balm. Ah, we need to experiment. Surging Balm. Yes. Ah, 0%. Fuck you. Fuck you. Yeah. It's not a proper Squaresoft game if you can't hurt undead with healing magic. Let's see. This one. So I don't remember where were we, but other than the part that it's an incredible disgrace, the fact that we are not able to have a Vagrant Story 2. It's 2026 and we don't have a Vagrant Story 2. My life is completely ruined. Oh yes, the Dullahan, the best boss song. I will put the music higher. Hopefully you guys are there. Ta-da-da-da-dun-ta-dun. Ah, ¿cómo no te moriste todavía? Dun, 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 dun. I think this was the first pair of the game. Uh, As you can see here, we can pick up the spare because our weapon slot is full. Therefore, the game gives us the option to organize our inventory to dispatch things that we won't need or disassemble the weapon, which we will be making here. We get the spear, and this is the grip, the speculum pole. We don't need it because I have better ones on my storage. Dagger time. Yeah, nothing will survive this dagger. I think we will be back to the way of the fist. We got a door there, but we're gonna leave this out because the space in my inventory is already too small. Die. Were you able to reconnect or you couldn't? Perhaps I'm speaking to the void. Same thing here. We will get the broadsword, and we will keep the rest there because we have no more space. This is closed, but the other door open. Again, pixel art, ladies and gentlemen. Ah, no te va a morir, pedazo de hijo de puta. Ahora sí. Malísimo. We need to go up there first. These boxes are meant to be pushed. It's part of the puzzle family. Different kinds of boxes that you can or can't move in specific ways. Ah, está flojo todavía. This should kill him. And this is the other block of the family, the indestructible code. So we break this one and move this one here. Boxes are your friend, remember. I think we should get rid of some stuff. It never hurts to sort your inventory because you will be having plenty of items, and the one you will be needing the most, it won't be available there, or you won't even remember what the name was. So something that I like to do is to put, for example, the more useful cures or restorers, let's say. In this case, this one is the most useful because this one heals only 50 points. It's not really useful, so we got this one and this one that heals your whole HP, and then the veras, which are the ones to lower the risk. These two are useful. Usually never go beyond 50 of risk, and then the rest doesn't matter. These are gradual. Each boss you defeat and certain enemies drop these enhancers that give you points in strength, additional points in health, additional points in magic, intelligence, and so on. It's incremental upgrades that more often than not you won't be able to see any difference at all until you get 4 or 5 extra points. But well, it goes along with the whole scratch damage or scratch philosophy, let's say, that the game has, in both the damage that you do to your opponents plus the damage you do to yourself in order to do more damage to the enemies. Asking yourself, asking yourself lots of questions in that process of hurting yourself and hurting others, and to what extent, what are you actually doing, which thing in particular is the one that gets you obsessed the most. Is it the battle abilities? Is it to get the break cards, to make the best weapon, to get the best gear? You will have an obsession, and when you think about obsessions regarding equipment and getting the best equipment possible, that too is sort of fetishist. I don't know how many people concluded or got around that realization, but I think it's pretty obvious. So let's get a couple of points in strength. Those will be useful. Let's see how much we get. Oh, +1. I'm uber powerful. Perhaps we will go to with the cane, which dramatically improves magic damage. The BT fire. Come on, open the door. Well, now we can continue. Okay, we're almost there. How much time we get to stream? Okay, this is the first difficult one you will find. It's not too difficult, but it might get you a couple of tries to get it right. Usually because you're in a rush. If you go outside of the room and re-enter, the puzzle resets. And unless you have solved it, in which case it will stay solved and you will be able to go back and forth with no issues whatsoever. This is not necessary. No, in fact, I can't. No. This is solved. How the lightning bolt to the head. How do I refresh this? Is there a way to refresh this? Okay, the first workshop. This is where we craft our equipment. The amount of detail of each workshop, the graphical detail, doesn't have anything to do with their functionalities, but it's exquisite. I love this game so much. Okay, let's push on because I won't be saving the game. That is the thing. When you access, this is the storage. When you access the storage, you get to sort of, well, work the whole equipment you have, and in order to mix here in items, you get the option to set up and, well, repair your equipment. That is another thing that I forgot to mention. Each weapon has two kinds of gauges, the DP and the PP. DP are defensive points, which is basically the durability points, the durability of the weapon. And the phantom points are sort of spiritual energy that you get from beating the crap out of the enemies. those phantom points sort of enhance the capabilities of your weapon, and it's also a balancing act because the more PP you get, usually your equipment degrades. So when you get to a workshop, you get to expend the phantom points, the PPs that you get on your weapon in order to refill the DP. In case you have none of PPs, the whole durability of the equipment will regenerate nevertheless. But well, okay, we weren't gonna pick anything here. I want to get to the Snowflake Forest. It's a couple of bosses behind, but I wanted to show you the workshop, which is like 50% of the Vagrant story experience. Like half of the time with the game, you will be browsing menus and going through workshops. Okay, that door is closed. Yes, that's the road to the Sanctum. There, sorry, my thing got pulled out. I restarted the stream because I don't know, apparently it froze or something. The guys were telling me. I just wanted to know if it reconnected or what, because I had no way of knowing. I don't know where the user online count is. Come on, there's still a ways to go. Como 22 mensajes. The game is very nice, man. You need to. It's the kind of game you will incredibly enjoy, I believe. Also very inspiring because it's so high level in many places. In the gameplay, in the systems, the verticality, the subtlety of the storytelling, the many layers of storytelling through cinematics, through even that is a feature that you don't see too often. Well, it's in Final Fantasy 12 as well. Each of the rooms has a name, and sometimes those names also tell a story, which is very interesting. How did I get the key? Did I get the key? ¿Qué sé yo? Okay. No, there was nothing here. Where's the door? All this for a Dark Souls player is like commonplace, this kind of design, but again, this was made 10 years before. 10 years! 10 years before Dark Souls! dead again. And also the details in the sound. I'm walking through regular floor, and here I'm close to the bones. It's so subtle, but it's so effective to achieve immersion. Same as that green light over there. It's just a tiny little detail, but it adds a lot to the atmosphere with so little. Will you open the door? Thank you. Yeah, I think this is definitely a game worth your time, man. It will blow your mind. Ah, here come the lizardmen. Great enemies too. Where is it? I don't have flame sphere yet? Ah, there it is. No, not flame sphere. Fireball. I don't have fireball in this playthrough. Okay, spirit surge this then. And speaking of details, the water there. Yeah, this game is amazing. This game is amazing. I'm tired of you. We need to get out of here. We need a box. There they are. Okay, now we can go to the sanctum. I think we had a dragon in here. See, yeah, this is the first dragon after this part. Yeah, entering the cold days in this part of the globe. Some people here, they told me that you were going to. It's heating up there. How you been doing? It's been quite a long. I'm sorry I didn't reply to your messages yet. I just don't have anything to show worth showing, so I'm kind of embarrassed. I told the same to Dell as well. I love those small sounds. Yeah, man, the sound engineering adds to the immersion. It makes the world unique because it sounds like nothing else. And particularly on the PlayStation era, the PlayStation itself sounded very different than other consoles, and I believe it still does. Pretty much in the way that the Sega Mega Drive sounds unique, right? But taken to a whole another level and factoring the CD quality into the mix. That adds a lot to sound effects and sound engineering. And how you been doing, man? I don't understand what happens with this stream. Is it appearing? Is it not appearing? I don't. Yeah, apparently it is. Oh, I will need to fetch some water. I have no time to waste with you, you vermin. From what I hear, your stream went out for the other. Yes, that is what I. That is why I cut it off and turn it on again to see if that fixed it for them. But oh shit, I broke the wrong box. And the vampires will appear again. God damn it. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's a Twitch problem or what, or perhaps on my end because my bitrate is too low. I couldn't tell. I should have to try after I finish. I would like to get to the, at the very least, to the place where everyone gets stuck, which is the Snowflake Forest. I don't know if I'll be able to make it. Hopefully. Come on, break that box. There we go. I'm just doing work soon enough. What kind of work, man? What are you working on? Things are quite heating up as far as politics go there, huh? With all the midterms and whatnot. You're not worth my time. Ah, those cool stuff. But like sort of a studying. I thought you were actually sort of on a 9 to 5, but far later. You need to auto vote in your server so we can see when you're streaming. I should first try to understand how to do that, but more importantly, to try to get some continuity. I tell you, this was just something I had to do in the same way I did it for God of War, uh, because it's like the 26th anniversary for the North American release of this game, which means so much for me, and sort of at the very least, I wanted to do it on the specific date, and then try to catch up with everything because. If I am to stream games, I should, at the very least, have three three illustration stream on the week, so I can have a, let's say, guilt-free gaming stream, so we can all hang out and exchange experiences. Specifically, if you guys will start to play a long Vagrant Story again, we can sort of go all the way up. It will be like Dark Souls, but PSX era. That seems like an important detail, but it's an artistically accomplished one. Each time you get the stage clear or congratulations screen, the screen seems to fade a bit to black, but in reality it's changing hues, and therefore the whole framing of the image is used on conveys a different emotion. That too is incredible, and that is pure art direction, which is what is lacking in modern games. Cobblestone. There we go. Let's go fight that dragon. I love all the details, all the goddamn details of this game. I could be. In fact, I have spent so many hours just gazing at it. It's incredible. When you really think about it, the option to put the game in first person is nothing extraordinary, since there's nothing that you can't, from a gameplay perspective, appreciate, or sort of in a utility way. It doesn't favor anything, but it adds a lot to the depth of the whole game. When you get in first person, everything freezes, so you can appreciate the enemies, for example. Die. Oh, let's go get the dragon. I hate this part. I usually mess up and end up breaking the wrong box, although it's not very difficult. Like everything else, you end up doing most of the thing out of memory. So you push this one here. Come on, man. Uh-huh. There we go. Hello, friend lizard. ¡No se murió! There was an earthquake in the city. A detail worth reminding. There's the storage, this is the save point. Oh, don't tell me I overwrote my file. Oh, I didn't. Oof, thank God. How much time do you get? 2 hours and a half, almost. Until our first dragon. Let's heal. Dun, 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 the song, the song, the song, the song. Dun, 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 dun. The same kind of dragons and Final Fantasy 12. Hola, hola, hola. Phew. I never get agility. Did I say it's more Dark Souls than Dark Souls? If such thing is possible. With an additional focus on BDSM. Oh yes, after 2 hours, finally see the light. This part first so relieving for the first time. because it will be like 5, 6, 7 hours on the first dungeons until you see the light. There's a lot of meta message and meta commentary there too. Okay, let's go get these bitches. Okay, so we've come from here, and we got exits here, there, and one here that is locked. We need to dispatch that enemy in order to get the key. And I think that will allow me to get to Snowflake Forest. These are the Cardinals men. They are looking for the hiding place of Sydney's code, right? That is where they have a face off, and they had a sudden encounter with our character, which is still, in case you haven't forgot, he's still chasing after after Sydney, like everyone else. Everyone is going after Sydney right now, and Sydney is going after something else that everyone else ignores, even his own men, which is pretty interesting as far as motives and being a mysterious figure go. Yeah, it seems my bitrate is too low. I will have to fix that for the next stream. We've got a couple of slaps. We got a spit on the face. There's plenty of BDSM there. Not that I am a practitioner or mind interested or anything, but I can't help but see that subtext. It's not something that it's only something that that only I noticed, I believe. What is death? Good question. The plot thickens. Apparently, the cardinal of the impeding religion in Valendia is looking for the secrets of the city of Leamon to attain immortality, which is quite the interesting thing for a religious messenger. So first things first. Let's strip you out of your magic. This should kill him. No. Bye. Oof. Okay, we're almost there. Almost to the checkpoint. 13% of the map. This game is huge. It's incredible. They made it fit into a single CD. Oh, I won't be able to get any weapons. Okay, now we have the key, so we will be able to go through. I can't remember what was it. Here we have a workshop, second workshop. Each workshop has different kind of materials you can work on. The previous one was leather and bronze. This one is bronze and iron. Each item, both from gear and from weapons, is made of a particular material that is displayed under that little letter in the upper right corner of the weapon. B stands for bronze, S stands for silver, H stands for Hagane, which is an alloy of bronze and iron, and D stands for Damascus, which is sort of the best material of the game and the hardest to mix, let's say. So here we have different types of weapons that, for example, in this workshop we could mix bronze and iron to get Hagane, which is the most regular material that you will be using for the most of the game. So we'll hit combine, blade. Let's see what can we combine here. We got Glaive and Spear. Should this give us a Korcheska? No, it doesn't. Let's see, let's mix until we can get something more or less cool, or at the very least useful. Then you start mixing the different kinds of weapons and try to come up with something. This gives us a broadsword, which is a two-handed sword. We have none yet, I think. I'm not sure. Okay, let's make this one. Let's go reducing our inventory. I had a broadsword there. What a moron. I should have created another one. Okay, here we have a bronze spear and we have an iron spear. When we mix both, we have a Hagan spear, which is the better material. It not only makes more damage, but also adds to the different capabilities of classes and affinities that you get when you mix weapons. The classes and affinities also get a mix. In order for you to, if you need to switch weapons, you are able to use the previous weapon or part of your weapon to create another one, so you can carry all the bonuses you've earned so far. That is another of the aspects of this game that makes it so appealing. Let's mix just because, to reduce inventory. I would like to create a better what's the name? A better spear, but I can't. I'm stuck with glaive and spear. I need another one to turn it into a better one. Battle knife. Okay, at the very least, we reduced everything there. I don't know if there's any armor to combine. That is what you will be doing like 50% of the time with this game, in order to get the best weapon possible and whatnot. Okay, let's go full Rompire. We're almost there, we're almost there. We gotta get to the exit. There. This should get us to city walls. I can't remember. Yes. We get our skirmishes here with other lizardmen. Ah, no, this one was about undead. This sword rocks. I don't know how many hours it took me to make that weapon, because first I had to get 3 of those, and then each one of those to train it with different dummies to get particular affinities to their maximum, and then combine those to get a perfect combination with every stat maxed. That took me, I don't know, at the very least 3 hours. 1 hour per sword, including the looking for them, because they are hidden in the secret dungeon. You can't get to the secret dungeon until you are on New Game Plus. This sword is an abuse. It should be illegal. In fact, you could max any weapon. Of course, they will have different amounts of, will make different amounts of damage and kinds of damage. Goblins. The only modern game that did something similar than Vagrant Story regarding... How did it fail? Was a game by Deck 13, the Polish developers that made Lords of the Fallen, called The Surge. The Surge was a game in the Dark Souls vein, which also had specific damage and the caveat that... Oh, damn. Okay, we need to unlock this with a spell called Unlock. There we go. In that game, The Surge, you had you could do specific damage to enemies, target their limbs, and if they happen to have a particular piece of armor on them, you get a higher chance of obtaining said piece of armor if you hit that particular limb. Vagrant Story does the same. To my memory, or to my knowledge rather, not my memory, that is the only game I know that comes close to do something similar to what this game proposed in its sort of a looting mechanics. I can't remember if that game had a crafting system, but of course it must have. Die. Okay, come on, we're almost there, Oh shit. I love that effect. Of course. Poison can kill you. Most of the traps will leave you at 1 HP, but poison can kill you. And it's the thing that drains at your health the fastest. Doesn't matter in which new game you are. Where was it? Antidote. Ah, here it is. And the most annoying one too. Oof. Although sometimes in certain rooms, in order for certain enemies to appear that carry special loot, you need to enter with a specific amount of energy or below or above a particular health threshold. Is one of the things that make catching, getting all the crafting ingredients to make the ultimate swords such a chore, because the enemies that dropping, I think the rate is like 3% or something like that. And those appear only when you are below 150 HP. And sometimes the only way to get below that threshold, because there's no way to hurt yourself with spells and whatnot, and you can auto poison yourself either. So you need to rely on certain enemies to poison you in order to get you behind that threshold. %58%? You've got to be kidding me. Okay, let's lower that risk. Well, 81% is much better. Oh, also this game has so many bosses, In some dungeons you fight like 4 bosses a piece. Oh, Master Gladiator, I went up a rank. Okay, we are almost there. Let's get to the Snowfly Forest so we can end the stream. Well, the other only way to hurting yourself is to use break cards, of course. That is another way to get you under a particular threshold, besides poison, which is a bit more unpredictable, so to speak. Oh shit, how was that? No, I'm too... Oh yeah, I was just... Die. Okay, now we got the key to go in front. Up there, we need to go up there. No, it seems we'll have to look to it from here. in a way, it's also a survival horror in the way the things are, how certain planes work, and how certain enemies appear on certain unexpected situations, like these time challenges. The whole final dungeon, which is completely dark, save for very few lights, and you need to use your special powers or magic in order to properly see, which I thought it was also a very interesting detail regarding exploration. It's not something you see too often. This is my go-to attack, my cannon, the Rending Gale from the first level break card from the sword is the one I use the most. That one and the dagger are those that have the longest range for the kind of weapons they are. Okay, where do we go from here? Those are those mimics have a very low chance of dropping a wine. Wines upgrade intelligence, strength, agility, and I think it was HP, I can't remember. So it's also interesting for looting purposes. You can get as strong as you want in the game. In fact, that is one of the things that I explored with successive playthroughs, is why are you replaying this? Are you trying to figure out the story, or are you obsessed with getting or making a particular weapon, or to get a particular objective, for example, finishing the game in record time and whatnot? Those are the kinds of questions that make this game so interesting to me, because I think the game is openly proposing them. Similar to what happens to Dark Souls, and with Silent Hill 2, now that I think about it, you get that sensation of there are plenty of things going through your head that you can just put specifically to words. This game does a lot of that. And it has nothing to do with the story, and has nothing to do with the plot. It's something that has to do with the ways the game communicates or chooses to communicate with the player through gameplay, which is, if I need to say it again, the greatest asset and strength that a video game brings as an art form. I'm grabbing plenty of things I'm not using because I'm on a New Game Plus, but well, also because I don't want to spoil too much. I just want to show the basics of the navigation of games and try to make it a bit easier for those that pick it for the first time, because I know this game is confusing, oftentimes frustrating in certain parts. The place where I want to make the checkpoint for this stream is the Snowflake Forest. Is where most of us left the game for the first time, because it's incredibly frustrating to navigate and to make sense of, since you don't have a map until you advance far enough, and you get lost a lot. Instructions aren't clear either. There's plenty of things going up there that makes for a confusing and oftentimes frustrating experience, but well, it's nothing that you can solve nowadays with the internet. But back then, having to figure it out on your own was pretty hardcore as far as experiences go. It was also the era of the games looking to sell guides to you, right? Sometimes being incredibly obtuse. But this game sort of manages that sweet spot where you want to try to figure it out things for yourself as much as you can. And then you read a guide and you can believe all the things that you've missed. Just like Dark Souls, but 10 years earlier. The other game that did a sort of grid system for its combat is another of my favorite games, Parasite Eve. I think it was released in 97 or 98. Um, that is the only other game I know that makes that sort of sphere grid. I think it's called that method of showing the distance with the enemy. Bye bye. This too was a boss. So it was in less than 5 minutes we fought two bosses. Yes, agility. Finally. It seems that Ashley is also developing a sort of abilities, attuning to a certain rhythm that allows him to sort of project himself. Very convenient to the plot, right? And then to add to the confusion, not only the Cardinal's men are chasing Muehlenkamp, and also they are nowhere to be found, but they are also adding mercenaries to the list of people that they are after Sydney. He intends to die. Who is he? Who is that kid? Okay, okay, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. We're almost there. I didn't think it would take that long. I was planning to wrap it up because I still have things to do, a couple of stuff to finish. Was it here? No, this is for later. That is artisanally made. That frame where it's sort of a fisheye perspective. PlayStation 1, it blows my mind. It blows my mind. The only other studio that I know of that resorts to those sorts of cinematic distortions is Arc System Works. You can see it on Guilty Gear, particularly Guilty Gear Xrd, which is the it's made in 3D, but it's animated in such a way that it resorts to traditional animation techniques to make it look more 2D. It's even more apparent in Dragon Ball, in one of the Dragon Balls, which is also from Arc System Works. Those guys do know their craft, do they? Apparently, the dark magic is older than the supposed religion that the characters, the cardinal, is in command of, which also brings an interesting power play, right? The cardinal and this new religion sorts of get political ties to empower themselves and in turn label the other forces as heretics. But those forces are far more powerful and predate the religion itself. And even then, let's call it human greed. It tries to sort of corrupts everything there, and of course, the dark gets pissed off. What would you do in its place? There is no definite good or bad characters here. Even our protagonist might either kill somebody or his family got killed. That is never clear, and there are lots of hints for you to think what you think is the thing, the way things go. Also, another very interesting and daring strategy from a game design perspective. This is another poignant one. Warping the minds of men and shepherding the masses has always been your church domain. You lure ships with empty miracles and a dead god. It's incredible. And like the soldiers at the beginning were speculating, indeed, the Cardinal's men also resort to black magic. So we have lots of people with different motivations on or looking for some giving chase to someone for different reasons, but all of them want answers. They have a particular sort of ambition, and they are looking for Sydney in order to get those answers. That is the whole rhythm of the game. Apparently, that which they were looking for is called the Grand Grimoire. Oh, damn. I will never finish with this. No, no. Usually at this point I will be grinding here because there's a couple of weapons that you could turn into weapons that I use often. That is something that you will eventually have to, at the very least, experiment with until you can come with something that fits your playstyle. I got lost. Ah, that one. No, that's the ruin boss. I won't enter to that one. We need to get up there. Should it be behind? Should it be behind here? Ah, there it is. Because this door is closed, right? From that part. So we need to go up from here to be able to cross. The interconnection between levels is almost Metroidvania-like, which I also think it's something that adds to the uniqueness of the game, because you can accuse Vagrant Story of being a Metroidvania. If you have seen up to now this stream, nothing further from the truth. Oh, Undercity. This never ends. This is my favorite place in Vagrant Story. This is my favorite area. Undercity West. This place is incredible. Look at the lamps. The color palette is this game is exquisite. I think most of my first playthrough I spent it here trying to grind out equipment for the next playthrough. That is another thing unique to this game. You it's in your best interest to plan in advance for example, let's say you've mastered sword and dagger, so you will need to pick your third weapon carefully in order to make it grow during your following playthrough. Same for different pieces of armor and whatnot. Silver key. That door there won't be open up to 80% inside the game. So at the very least, like 10 hours ahead. 10 hours until that door can be open. That is the door that hides most of the New Game Plus material content. Like there's like 3 whole dungeons behind that door. That is the experience of most Vagrant Story players. Miss, never change anything. Because I discovered very recently, different parts of the body and different enemies have different, it's called chain resistance. So you can combo any part you like. What makes it, well, initially frustrating, very frustrating. But well, eventually you figure it out. Oh, intelligence +1. That one is good. The more intelligence you get, the more damage your spells do. You get the exploration mode where you can jump higher and grab from stuff, and you get the battle mode. When you are on exploration mode, with your weapons thrown away, your risk starts lowering and your health starts regenerating bit by bit, and so is magic. Of course, you can use items to not lose speed, not lose momentum, but that's also a valid option. When you are seeing that the game is throwing at you more than you can chew, you can at the very least take a breather and try again with a different weapon, right? But again, it's like Dark Souls. There will come a time where you will face a sort of huge wall, right? And won't be able to figure out how to go through it. And well, this happens a lot in this game as well. I'm discarding leather equipment because even though it will be important in the future, right now it only takes up space. As does this stuff. That could be combined. I could go to a workshop and try to combine stuff to get better armor, but I got the best armor I can have so far. In fact, I shouldn't be killing this many enemies. It's not necessary to traverse